All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Another fun edition of Deborah Kobylt Live. And boy, do I have a fun guest today. Fabio. Thank you for being here.
Hey, it's my pleasure.
Okay,
Thank you for having me.
I got to say, Fabio and I spent quite a bit of time on the phone this week getting to know each other. You were on another popular program.
John and Ken.
Yeah, why not?
Love those guys.
Yeah, you even invited us up to your 500-acre place up in Washington, and believe me, we're coming. So you invited us.
You're more than welcome.
I'm picking the week, and I'm taking my vacation at your place. You'll be like, oh my God, that wasn't like a real invitation, was it?
No,
But,
it is a real invitation.
What's the first thing that impressed me about you? You're a smart guy.
Thank you.
You're a
Thank
really
you,
smart guy. I mean, I know, when you kind of look like Fabio, people think, the guy on the cover of those books, and that guy who sells margarine or whatever that stuff is, and whatever.
Like Dennis.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And then there's Dennis Zine.
Thank you very much.
Got his haircut specially for this program today.
I did actually.
Former LA Councilman Dennis Zine.
Yes.
He didn't want to compete with this guy over here.
Never. He's a good friend though. We go out
Oh, I
socially.
know.
We have a good time.
I know you guys are good friends. I know the whole background behind you guys. I'm just kind of messing with you a little bit.
It's all right.
But you're here today, aside from the fact, yes, ladies, we will get to his background.
He
a
is
little
single,
bit.
by the way.
He's single. I don't know if you're looking. Well,
As you.
I am.
Wait, we have two.
But I've been there.
Wait,
You've
wait.
never been there.
Wait a minute. Is this going to be like a dating service
Well,
here?
no,
It's
he
like,
wants-
ladies, please call in. Would you like to pick
He wants.
Dennis Zine
He
or
wants to
Fabio?
have a baby. I'm done, babies. He wants to be a daddy.
Oh, you really?
Well, eventually,
Okay, do you know how many women are probably lined up already
That's
on
it. I
Sunset
know.
Boulevard? It's like, wait a minute, he's single and he wants a baby? I'm
Submit their
available.
resumes. I'll check them out for you. We're doing a background check on them.
Oh, well, we're going to dinner tonight, right?
Yep.
We'll see who's there.
Yep.
I'm very good at matching people. I'm a very good matchmaker. I have a lot of single friends. In fact, I should invite them to the restaurant. So, okay, let's get serious for a minute
Okay.
because we're here initially for a serious reason. You were one of many people who
Yep.
was, would you say burglarized,
Burglarized,
robbed?
yeah,
Which,
burglarized.
Not robbed. Let's make a definition.
yeah, what's the
Burglarized.
difference? You were
The robbery.
burglarized.
Robbery means force or fear is used to take the property.
Okay, we got the legal guy here to
Use
interpret all this
use
stuff.
a gun or a knife to take the property from you. Burglary. You're not home. They break in. They steal. There's a distinction between burglary and robbery.
Well, let me just say something. These guys are brazen because they know damn well you might have cameras. They'll put something over their head, and you've got an alarm that's going to buzz. But by the
And-
time they get in and get out, nobody's there anyway. Is that right?
And actually, I got 4 Rottweilers. And I mean, the people, the guys that got really lucky.
Yeah. Why didn't you keep those guys out that night?
Because if you remember in February, there was a lot of rain.
We
It
don't
was
get
raining
much
a
of that
lot.
around here anymore.
And
Wait, you got robbed in the rain? That people actually
Yeah,
came
that's
out
what
in
they
the rain?
do. I'm telling you, because normally when it rains, most of the people, they're not on the street.
No, the
So,
only ones on the
you know-
street are the robber or the
Burglars.
burglars.
The
burglars.
Burglars.
They choose those kind of days. It was very rainy, and so
Where were you, by the way?
I was home, and actually just before I left, I go, my dogs, they were playing around in the mud, and I go like, what, I'm gonna lock them in, because normally I always keep 2 dogs outside and 2 dogs inside the house, and I locked them in the shed, and I tell you, nobody could know except me, because I decided that 10 minutes before I left.
To keep your dogs outside.
No, to lock them in the shed.
Okay. but
Normally
they were out.
they're always outside because it was
Oh.
raining. They were playing in the mud. I go like, you know what? I'm not gonna put them inside the house. I'm gonna lock them in the shed.
They'd make a mess in the house.
Yeah, and eventually
what,
somebody
you
else.
left?
I left, and and I come back about 6-7 hours later, and I found out that my house has been burglarized.
Did you set an alarm?
Yeah, but by the time, I mean, this guy's an expert. By the time, the alarm goes on and the security system, the security service call you and you answer and
Your
then,
stuff's gone.
they're gone, long gone. And,
Long
they
gone.
go in half an hour, 40 minutes and they're done.
It's a horrible feeling, right? You come in,
It
what's
is
the
because
first
you
thing
feel,
that you notice? Tell me.
Yeah, you feel, it's your house. It's your
Violated.
privacy. You feel violated, and it's very, you really get angry, really, really angry. And
Well, okay, wait. Walk me through it. So you walked in the house, and did you
And,
notice something was
well,
off?
I started seeing mud footprint all over the floor.
Ugh.
And then
And you worked so hard to keep the dogs out, and then
yeah, exactly. So they would have made a mess in the house, and all of a sudden
so
there's
this guy came in instead.
people footprint, and you can see there were like more. There were actually about 3 or 4 people in the house because you see different footprints on the carpet and on the floor. So they broke through a window, And they call him knock knock. They normally they knock on the door, and if you don't answer, they break one of the back window, and they come in and they go in the master bedroom, and they do pretty much your house. And in 35, 40 minutes, they're in and out.
And they took a safe, right? They took.
It's funny because I've thought, okay, I have a 220-pound safe bolt into the ground. Okay,
and you think ain't nobody gonna get that thing, right?
They took the entire safe. They pretty much unbolted. They broke the floor. They unbolted from the ground. And when I told the police, I go, "Oh, Fabio, this is a small safe. They take safe up to 1,000 pounds up the house."
You got to bury that stuff in the floor.
And this was on the second. This was second story, no less.
Yeah.
Oh,
second
really?
story.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, you have to actually lift the boards up, put it under there, so they don't even know.
Or you let those Rottweiler running loose. And I tell you, they got really lucky because, 4 Rottweilers like a pack. If one attack, they all attack. And it doesn't matter if this guy have, guns or knives. You can go maybe through one. But those dogs are very fast and they're very powerful. So, if the owner is not there, it will be a mess.
Can I say maybe this is the reason why you're single? You've got 4 Rottweilers. Sweetheart, I wouldn't date you with 4 Rottweilers.
Why not?
You'd be very safe.
Let me tell you.
You would be very safe.
You wouldn't be sleeping alone either.
I guess not. But, tell the ladies first before they come over. But, okay, so you came home. You walked in, you see these foreign footprints all over your floor.
Then right away I went to the bedroom because that's where the safe was.
Oh, it's a horrible feeling.
And you see, like all the drawer, all my clothes on the floor. I mean, the
ransack.
Every single drawers and everything. And so then I call the police, and I call Dennis because Dennis is a good friend of mine. And that's when I find out then actually there is a huge problem in California, in the state of California.
Well, who else? Let's talk about not just the burglaries, but there's been a crime spree with celebrities too. Something
but
has
let me
to
tell
be
you something.
related.
It's like because normally the television, radio, they're talking about celebrity, but everybody's getting burglarized because just in my I've been. I'm a very good friend with the LAPD, and they give me reports, and you know what? It's just in my area in 1 month.
350.
350 homes. I mean,
I've
it's
never
like
heard of such a
just
thing.
exactly.
Where do you live?
It's an epidemic. I don't want to tell.
No.
It's everywhere.
San Fernando.
No, but that's what I mean. In LA, you live in the valley, which
but
is
it doesn't matter because I have people in Brentwood. Even there is an epidemic. And Hollywood Hills is an epidemic.
No, in my neighborhood too, and I live on the west side.
It's everywhere. It's the entire city. It's not just my
Let me tell you though, but they are targeting a little bit. They know who they're going after. If they're going after Alanis Morissette and who else?
Oh no! Let me tell you, it's much. The media because it's news. Okay, but let me tell you, there are so many people. They didn't trust the banks. They kept a lot of cash in the house, and and they got burglarized left and right. It's not just a celebrity. I mean,
they're bringing attention to it, is what I mean.
Of course,
a lot of these celebrities are getting broken into, and without that, sometimes you think, now some attention's being drawn to it, but as you know.
But there is a bigger problem. That's why I got involved with Dennis and the police. Because, number one, coming from the old country, Italy, and coming from Europe, and when you've been around the world and see a certain pattern, like what happened in Europe, and then you see the same thing happening here, where the media and some people take the side of the criminal. The politician, they say they take the side of the criminal. You go, I already saw this movie before.
The criminal and their rights.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, you're
And
the one out here living as a citizen getting robbed.
Right. And what about the victim?
Burglarized.
Nobody's taking the side of the victim. And by this police, these people, they put their line every single day on the line. And for what? And who protect you? Who serve you? The police, not the criminal. The criminal should be in jail. Okay? And now you have all these politicians.
But look what's happening with the criminals in jail. They're getting let out of jail
right.
early
because
of, and you like to talk about this because
of course,
let's talk about Prop 57 here in California. That's the early release of criminals.
When you have politicians who don't care, number one, they are very protected. Okay? Or they live in gated community. Then, say, a gun is not good. But who protects you? The officer with guns, right? And they say, it's like, I'm going to release 30,000 prisoner, but I'm going to improve the
Rehab.
no. It's
Wait,
with Jerry Brown. It went on national TV and said, "I'm going to release a bunch of
from the state prison.
butthead." People they got arrested for possession of marijuana. That's it. So people say, okay, no big deal. But the California state doesn't have money. We have to cut down some. No, he's releasing, murderer, cop killers, rapists, child molester, people that are actually sex trafficking with minors. On and on
Then
and
how
on.
do they? Let me ask you. How do they get away with saying they're releasing people with just minor infractions?
Okay,
Because that's what they're telling
this
the
is what they
public,
do.
and then the public will say,
He
"Oh,
went-
okay, no problem."
Because
sure,
you take-
the guy stole a meatloaf.
You
no
take
problem.
a felony and you make it a minor infraction. That's what they reclassify.
Right.
So what was a felony is now a misdemeanor. What was a misdemeanor is an infraction. So the reclassification is what they use as the logic. Well, it's no longer a felony. It's only an infraction. The state of California now wants to establish in this region of California, believe it or not, safe houses where you can go shoot up your heroin and take your
I know.
drugs. That's the newest phase that they want to get into. It doesn't end. California is off the deep end when it comes to common sense and logic and protecting people. And what Fabio and I tell people is you need a gun in your home, in your business, to protect you and your assets.
All right,
And-
that's a whole other story.
And then they
because
make it impossible for the people.
Well, I need you in my home. I need
get a
somebody to
gun.
protect me. I don't want to use the gun because, believe me, I've shot at the police academy and whatnot, and I need to be a better shooter. I need somebody like you to be protecting me. But
We might shoot your husband.
I know. Sorry about that. I can't. I make no claim for his show, but he's
know.
a nice guy. Don't do that.
He's a nice guy. I'm just teasing you.
But go ahead. Finish up.
That was
So-
not a threat, by the way.
No,
And
I
they
know.
make it. Of course, criminals are always going to have guns. Okay, that's because on the black market.
Yeah.
But they make it now impossible for people in California, real people, regular people, they want to defend themselves to have a gun. It's
Tighter and
almost-
tighter restrictions.
Yeah, it's almost impossible. And on top of that, he goes, "Oh, we don't have $100 million to." One thing in life doesn't lie is numbers. Okay, when you tell people, "I don't have $100 million to keep these people in jail," and then you go to and trying to build a train to nowhere for $46 billion. I mean, who are you kidding? I mean, you think people are stupid?
I have an idea. Put all the criminals on the train.
And
Since it's
send 'em
going
away.
nowhere, just let it go in one direction and go back on the other one. They can be
I've-
they can be the test passengers. Why not? Put them on there.
I have better idea. Send them in Afghanistan and and fight.
go fight for our country.
Exactly. It's like give it back to your country. There's people that've been
Well-
taking care of you in jail for a long
But when
time.
when we had 3 strikes and you're out and it was effective, it was working, crime was coming down,
Yeah.
crime is going up.
But I'm sure
we don't
you know,
have that.
because believe me, I lived at that whole 3 strikes thing because I know that my husband, for one, was pushing for it. But a lot of the public, the outcry was, look, this guy's third infraction was stealing a slice of pizza, and he's in prison for the next so many years. And then there was a large uproar, and then, in fact, it was called that, like the pizza law.
Right.
And then it was rescinded.
There's
So
always
then-
extremes.
Right.
Always.
So then what happens is, because I like to take the middle on everything, laws are there, but they have to be imposed properly. You
Right.
cannot throw a guy in jail because his third infraction is in fact stealing a slice of pizza.
No, third felony.
Third
felony.
felony was. Do you see what I'm saying? So whatever laws are there, they also have to be. They have to be done right.
But we've
Other-
watered everything
Right.
down so much, nothing counts anymore. Homeless, Occupy Los Angeles, everywhere you go, in your neighborhoods. Homeless are everywhere. It's become a fashionable way to survive in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and if you go downtown, I've been around the world,
it's crazy.
Africa and so on. I never saw anything like that. Even in Africa, you go
Well,
downtown.
because as you know, because I think it was Reagan who actually, if you want to talk politics here, isn't he the one who sent half those people out? saying-
Reagan is long lost. He's gone. The people who are now
But
homeless,
it set a precedent, and you have people who are just saying nobody has to put me away,
and they live for free.
and they live for free. So the problem is larger. I mean, nobody is really serving anyone, not
Mm-hmm.
the left, not the right.
You just look at Congress. You see how they're serving themselves.
That just watching C-SPAN this morning.
Right. If you
was
still
incredible.
believe in politicians, you live in La La Land. Because,
Oh, of course.
it's politician there for, it's why somebody become a politician, for the ego, money, and power. That's it.
I didn't do it for that.
Oh.
Money, ego, and power.
Fabio, let me just circle back a little bit. Born in Italy.
Yeah.
And lived overseas. You've traveled quite a
All
bit.
over the world.
So you got to see how other countries govern. And I think what's motivated you is you know, you're a smart man.
Thank you.
Handsome.
And sort of, but you know, and you, from all of your experience, you come here and you say, geez, your way of life, you have no idea how good you've got it.
Right.
Let's keep it.
Exactly.
I think that's what you're
it's
saying.
Like, you know, well, change that we don't want. I mean, America is the
Well,
best country in the world. Listen,
a lot of people don't travel out of America.
Perfection doesn't exist in the world. Okay,
No.
perfection doesn't exist. But America is the closest country to perfection. Of course, you know, there is always, you know, here and there stuff then you can make better. But as a foundation, United States is the only country. There's a lot of beautiful places around the world that you can visit.
Right.
But to live, United States is the best country to live.
Well, and what you're saying is, you know, you become too lax with the laws. Look what's going on in Europe, for
Right.
example. You know,
When you take the side of the criminal, that's a major problem, and that's what European did. Look at what happened in Europe, and I tell you,
Look
it will
what's
be
happening.
exactly. But it's worse than you think. It's worse than you think. I remember when furniture, they used to come from Italy and, you know, Germany and France. And now, you know, and I remember I used to tell my friend years ago, it's weird. They're like all this container furniture coming from Arab's country. I think there's something wrong here. I mean, come on,
and
you
they're
guys,
just saying,
right?
Fabio, you're being ridiculous.
Right. They were like, oh, come
you're being
on. You know, it's
paranoid.
like, and now they open up all these containers and they find out that all the stuff coming in from Arab country, the RPG, rocket launcher, hand grenades. So now the cops, number one, they can't shoot. Number two, they have a gun, and they will not even go in certain section of the city because all these people, they have RPG, rocket launcher, hand grenade. So it's going to blow them and their car out of the street.
You became a U.S. citizen 2 years ago.
Yeah. And I loved it.
Why did it take you that long to become a U.S. citizen?
Well, I was a resident.
Because my question
I was a
is-
resident for 33 years.
Because my question is, do you have any aspirations to run for office?
To tell you the truth, you know, I'm a people person. I love people.
Okay.
And you know, it's like
Go on, tell her you're going to run for office.
in politics, unfortunately, you know,
You
it's
can
like,
announce it here. I won't tell anyone.
No, it's like I'm a people person. I stick with the people, you know. And I think, you know, if we come, you know, the real power of the people, if we are united, nobody can stop. And the politician, they will be really afraid of the people.
Okay, look. So by being burglarized, this really motivated you to do something with your background.
Also,
knowing,
because I find out, and you know, when you have a governor who takes the side of the criminal, first of all, the governor is the
Governor
police.
Jerry Brown.
Jerry Brown is the police, you know, boss. When you have your own boss turning the back on you and take the side of the criminal, that it's a
so why don't you run
That's-
why don't you run for office?
Because you know
People would listen to you, Fabio,
I know, but
because-
you have to deal with a lot of crooks. You know,
No.
it's like almost like, you know, we're from Italy, right? It's like mob. You know, it's
Oh,
like,
I am so used to dealing with the crooks from my family. Are you kidding me? I
I'm
mean,
saying it's like mob. You know, it's like there's a,
I
you
just
know,
went
the
to an
mob is
Italian-
going to send the good guy, right? Doesn't get through your skull. They're going to send the bad guys. But you know what? They work for the same boss.
but what did you just say? You're a people person.
Right.
People will listen to you because people like you. First thing you need is you need people to like you. Then they'll listen to you if they like you. You're a reasonable enough guy because you have perspective.
Yeah.
You didn't grow up a rich kid. You grew
It's
up over in Italy.
just-
Now, I don't know if you grew up a rich kid in Italy, but you get my point. You've traveled. You've seen how other places
Right,
govern.
and
you
in
see
life-
what's starting to go down in California. And if we're not careful,
Yes.
we are really going to just cut off and just
Yeah.
go into the
Life is common sense.
Right.
You know,
So what would
it's
you
just
do?
regular common
If
sense.
you were the governor, what would you
It
do?
would be very simple. Look at Europe. I say, whatever Europe did, go the opposite way. Opposite side of Europe. And I'm telling you, you're going to do great.
All right. With Prop 57, they've spilled out all of these criminals from the state system. And I believe some of those guys ended up in the county system. Dennis, tell me if I'm wrong about that. And then the release of, then those county prisons jails became too crowded. And those guys ended up spilling out into the street.
Exactly.
Also, the entire parole thing is a mess.
Yeah.
Right now.
The whole system's
The whole
collapsed.
system is
There was
a
supposed
mess.
to be money given for rehabilitation instead of going to jail, go to drug rehab. They'd rather go to jail for 2 years instead of going to drug rehab. I mean, the whole system has collapsed, and that's the problem. Is they don't want to admit it, but it's tax dollars that are being wasted that they could be put to use because, again, 3 strikes and you're out did work. It reduced crime significantly. I don't care what people tell you right now. Crime in L.A. is going up, and arrests
Big
are
time.
plummeted. Arrests are going down further and further. Officers do not engage and make arrests because the first thing is going to be officer used excessive force, officer was doing this and doing that. You know what? Officer doesn't go to work to get indicted.
Well, an officer is concerned because every time he does anything, there's a cell phone, right?
right.
Now, I have to say, for all those lousy cops that made it that way, and now the guys that are out there making an honest living, being good cops, they're afraid to do their jobs a lot
That's
of times.
exactly it.
They really are, and you know that. I mean,
And there were some tragedies. I will not deny that
Lots
there
of
were
them.
some tragedies where an officer shoots a man in the back who's run away from a traffic violation. You can't do that. But it's the training, it's the supervision. There's a pecking order that they have in law enforcement, and you have to follow that and make sure it's done right. But law enforcement is the line between you and anarchy. That's what it is. It's not the military. It's between you and anarchy. It's the police officer. That's what happens.
So what are we going to do? Prop 57 is now.
It's a disaster. Also because, right now you get burglarized. The next wave of criminal that is releasing is a rapist. 6,000 rapists and child molester and sex trafficking with minors. So what is going to...
The picture's not bright. It's
Right.
pretty
It's going to
gloomy.
get worse and worse. And, the something I want to quote Governor Brown because he say he didn't understand why, all the DAs and judges that were up in arms where something like that will improve public safety. And this is words out of his mouth. How can you improve public safety when you release 30,000 criminals back into society? What did you smoke that day?
I'm with you.
So Prop
But-
47 report finds fewer drug arrests, less crowding in jail. Sure, less crowding because you're not putting anybody in there. Fewer drug arrests. Officers aren't making the arrest. People are getting loaded. Well, now California, January 1st, 2018, you'll be able to get high. In Nevada, in Las Vegas, they ran out of marijuana. They started legalized marijuana recreational. They ran out of it. So there's a clamor. We need to get more marijuana in Las Vegas. When that takes effect January 1st in the state of California, you can get high just because you want to get high. You're going to find a lot of people get involved in incidents, and they're going to say, oh, my God, what do we do? The people keep passing these ridiculous laws. Now, alcohol creates problems.
Clearly, you're not in favor of bleh.
It's already
Legalized.
done. It's
I
already
know, no, I know that,
It's
but
already
you're
done.
not in favor of it.
No, I'm not in favor
God
of it.
knows I wasn't either. I could not believe that this became. I was very upset about it.
That's how liberal California is, but this liberalism is going to kill us. It's going to strangle
but
us.
of all things, why? I know they can
Medical,
tax it.
you call it?
I got it.
Medical, I know people who had cancer. Bill, what was his name? He was a city councilman.
That's different. I'm not talking.
No,
medical.
he had cancer and it worked for
I'm
him.
talking
Bill
recreational.
Rosendahl. It worked, but recreational. They,
So
you know,
against it. Oh
it's
my God.
now you'll be able to buy it like you're buying candy.
No, but there's another problem. You get stopped. How you get stopped now for a DUI. I don't even think that there's a proper way to even test if you're stoned.
Yeah, there is, but it stays in your system. The THC component will stay in your system up to 30 days. It's either there or not there. Alcohol, after a few hours, it removes itself. Marijuana is going to stay. So say you're a police officer, you can't get high, you'll get fired. Airline pilots, just think of the people who want to get high on recreational. You're a paramedic, you're a firefighter, you're a train engineer. What are we going to do with society? It's
Hey.
okay, it's legal. Yeah, you can drink alcohol, you can drink a beer. Beer's not going to get you wasted with one beer,
Look, talk about
but one
corrupt.
joint will.
Yeah, talk about corrupt. They wanted the money. They wanted to be able to tax
And
it.
it's that-
Again, a whole nother show. But
Yeah,
I
because
was
remember,
vehemently
it's
against
illegal
it.
to have the money now, but they're going to make laws to say it's
A
legal.
lot of my really conservative friends that I know, and I have them on all over the spectrum, they're so in favor of it, and because you could make money from it, I was
Yeah.
really disappointed. And
You're right.
I don't think they saw the bigger picture.
Also when you're a governor like Jerry Brown, it's like
You
it's-
really don't like this guy.
Yeah,
You're
he-
like,
Well, it's
He despises them.
the thing is, it's like
now listen, Jerry
if you
Brown.
don't have-
Jerry Brown.
if
I
you
think
don't
Jerry
have-
Brown is the one who came in and burglarized you, maybe.
maybe. Hey, there's always karma.
Check out
Remember,
those.
there's
Check out
always
those
karma.
footprints.
There's always karma.
You know, he
Goes
found
around,
out-
comes around.
He found out what was in that safe.
No, but it's like it's because these people they have politicians they have no sense of business. That's the problem.
They don't. Oh
they
my God.
don't have sense of business. That's why I would love states, the world to be run by company, run by business people.
That's going to get me to segue to you as a businessman. May I?
Because it's all about numbers. You run, California was the 6-7 biggest economy in the world, and you have somebody like Jerry Brown doesn't know to do 2 + 2.
And the people voted him in.
It's always, 2 + 2 is always an opinion. It's never 4. That's the problem. So when you have What are you doing at $46 billion train? We're in America. American people, they fly. Look at what happened in Europe. They go to train. The number one place where they do terrorist act is trains. Look all the history of Europe. You want to build a train to California to go to Bakersfield? Hello, who wants to go to Bakersfield? Did you ever went through Bakersfield? What, two cows, 4 ducks, and 2 chicken? And you building a $47 billion train?
You got a lot of fans in Bakersfield. You better watch what you're saying, Mr. Fabio.
You know, listen, I pass all the time through Bakersfield. That's why it's fields, you know?
No, I'm with you. Come on. I mean,
exactly.
But no one's pressing the point enough in the press.
Sense.
It always gets out there in the press about this train to nowhere. And I don't know, the next day the story is just gone and buried and disappeared. I'm like, just put the dollars in front of people of how much this is costing us. Something about that story just never seems to take hold.
No, it
that
doesn't.
train just keeps on
Deborah,
going.
Explain to me how, you as a governor, you tell me you don't have $100 million to keep these people in jail, and you go and spend $46 billion.
I don't know. He
I
has
thought
not been accountable to that in particular. And, he believes it's something that we
You know
need
how
for the
much
future.
space we have in California to build bigger jails and to keep those people in jail?
In those places that you said had the 2 ducks and
Hey, Bakersfield has plenty of field,
and by the way, you build prisons, there's a lot of jobs that come out of that as
Exactly.
well. It's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
You've got people to build the prisons, people to staff the prisons, you've got the criminals that are being put away, so...
And, let's put this criminal to work.
So this is an article from March 24th, 2017. Nearly 9,500 inmates to be released from California state prisons. 9,500 people.
But remember, let me tell you why. Why is that a bad article? Go ahead, tell me.
It's not bad. It's a true.
Nope.
It's an accurate article.
No, unfortunately, they're still not explaining to people, and these are not just people who stole a slice of pizza.
Right.
See, the problem with the media is, and I really mean this, they don't explain who these guys are that are getting released. All
Right.
they're saying is, they didn't really do a big, not a bad crime, and they can get out. The problem is the media is not effectively getting out there to say, here's what these guys are doing. Here's how this is going to impact your life. Now, let me explain. Same with what's going on in Washington. Nobody's explaining anything.
Right.
That is a disaster. I'll have you back about that one because I watch what's happening
there,
and it's no one's effectively explaining.
Like
that.
I'm telling you, it's like when I was telling the media, I was telling about, did you ever look into Prop 57 and the people they are releasing?
They're like, no.
Exactly. And when I was telling, even people they attempt to put a bomb in a school or in a hospital, rapist, child molester, driving by shooting, they look at me like, are you sure? I said, yes. Why don't you check into? I mean, they look at me like idiots. It's like, no, why don't you do your homework? Why don't you research what's really happening? It's, but Jerry Brown went on TV and told us. Jerry Brown lie all the way.
But I don't believe anyone. I like to do my own research, my own detail. Now, maybe most people don't like to do that.
Yeah.
I get it. But then at least the media has a responsibility to explain to people what is going on and not just give them a surface an article or a surface TV report or radio report and saying, this is what's happening, they're being released, and that's it. In which case the person at home is going, oh, okay, I'll be fine.
Yeah, but today, we have this mentality. It's like even like people, they're gaining weight, and they go like, oh, I don't know why I'm gaining weight. Well, maybe you should read the labels of the food you buy.
I was driving here talking to a friend of mine who's dieting, and she went on Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers is fine, I'm sure it is. I've never done it. And she's like, and I counted my points. I'm like, why do you need to count points? Just figure it out. If it's bigger than the palm of your hand, don't eat it. If it's this big or you're having 12 of them, don't eat it. Why do you have to? She was complaining that she used up all her points by noon. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's just
Starve for the rest of the day.
It's not brain surgery. You can figure it out. But listen, we're going to end up running out of time. If I don't get into a little bit of your life, people are going to get very
Let's
upset.
find him a wife.
First of all, people.
A childbearing woman.
I'm doing great.
Okay.
Trying to help you out.
Trust me.
If I'm not
Dennis.
mistaken, you came on this show and you opened my show telling me, Mr. Fabio, that you're looking for a wife, I believe, or a partner because you
I think I said that for you.
All right.
He didn't say it.
That was Dennis.
Fabio wants a baby, ladies.
Thank
and
God.
That means he's looking for somebody. Is this true?
Yeah.
Are you looking for somebody to have a kid with?
I wasn't kidding you. He is.
Why is it taking you this long? A guy like you.
Because I'm very picky.
He wants to settle down.
And I love to have a lot of fun.
See,
so.
we didn't meet sooner, Fabio.
you-
This is the problem. We got
Well,
we
you
got
know.
yeah.
Let's tell John his wife.
Oh, to heck with him. I've known him for so long. Pfft, goodbye, Fabio. Just let me know, Fabio. I mean, we are going to dinner.
There is
later,
life
so-
after.
Yeah.
There is life after.
Yeah. No, but seriously, you've been a bachelor.
Yes.
Single
a long
guy.
time.
You like to play around.
I love life, and I enjoy life because you have to live day by day because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
So, all right.
I live my life at the most extreme, the best way. I enjoy every single second.
Let me break that down.
my
That means
life.
lots of ladies, lots of people in your life.
It's whatever
I
works
enjoy life.
for
That means
you.
lots
I
of ladies.
enjoy life.
He gets
And you know
scared
what?
sleeping
Let
by
me tell you.
himself.
Hey, you know
And-
what? The guy, it's not like he's married and running off and doing it. The guy's
Exactly. I'm not
whatever
doing
he
anything
wants.
wrong.
Yeah, like Chris Christie. Chris
no.
Christie's lying on the beach next to his wife. He wasn't next to a blonde. He's next to his wife. Did you hear that comment he made?
On the very state beach that he closed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to keep politics out of this one for a few minutes. So you started out as a model
Right.
on the cover of
No.
romance
Actually,
See how people
I
never
was-
really, and even the stuff I read is not accurate. So
No,
set me straight.
I started modeling at 13, and I started doing all the big campaign like Versace, Armani, all the big names.
In Milan.
In Milan. Then I came to United States, and I went to New York. And my second day, I got the Gap. So I did
Oh.
the launch of the Gap.
Look
So-
at you there. Oh my.
So I did a bunch of.
Wait a minute, what happened to you? You're gone.
I did a
We had
bunch
some
of,
photos of you up
I
there
did a
somewhere.
bunch of big campaign in the United States, and then some of the writers they saw me in magazine and say we want our hero in our book to look like this guy, and that's I started doing book covers. But
So
I
you
was-
started modeling for the book covers.
No, I started modeling for high fashion.
Right, but after that,
Yeah.
then you were a model, if you will. Your form or whatever, your face was on the covers of books. Because I'm getting to something here. Would you
Right.
please go with me on this? So, is it correct that because you were on these covers, people were buying the books?
Yeah.
And then you figured this out, and then you decided to be your own
Branch
publisher.
out.
Okay, so tell me how that worked, because that to me is a sign of a smart business guy, not
You know,
just a good-looking
it's funny.
face.
I love people. But when people, they party and stuff like that, and they have a few drink, they talk.
Right. So
you
what do
know?
they say to you?
Well, they'll start saying, oh, Fabio, it's all the book we're selling, all the sales, they go up 60, 70% because we put you on the cover. And, if we don't put you on the cover, the sales go down 60, 70%. So,
you're like,
as a businessman, I'm a pretty good businessman. I thought, okay, that's interesting. So I keep notes.
So what did you do?
I think, I started, marketing and branching, and with help of God, of course. I live an incredible life, pretty much because I didn't have to be or pretend or act. I just had to be myself and getting paid. So I think that was probably one of the best gig on the planet.
And
To
from
pay to be yourself.
okay, so many people when you just say the word Fabio, okay, everybody always has that little like Italian accent. I mean, what do they think of first when they say Fabio? Which
so many,
commercial?
So many different things. A lot of commercial, but of course, because I did for
Oh, please, the
23
butter one.
years.
I
Yeah.
can't believe it's not butter. In
Right.
fact, when I saw that, I'm like, wait a minute, he wasn't selling butter. Nobody even knows what you were selling. They're just looking and going, that guy. I want him to come to my house and serve me butter or margarine or whatever the heck this is. Can we play that commercial? The butter one, the margarine one. What are they selling?
Oh, I did so
There we
many.
go.
There he is.
Of course you do, because you're a person. There are
funny.
never any delightful
I did so many for them.
surprises,
I worked 23 years for them. 23.
Introducing the Unbelievabot, an unbelievable toaster that adds a little joy to mornings. By integrating wireless technology and lasers, I Can't Believe It's Not Butter can send unbelievable messages directly to the breakfast table.
I love that.
So
Fabio
everyone
is back.
can
He's a
begin
hunk.
With a smile.
And some toast.
You'll never see
Some
breakfast
toast.
the same
Some
way
toast.
again because it surprises you.
Every morning.
The Unbelievabot from I Can't Believe It's Not Butter.
I did so many,
That is
so many.
great.
23 years of commercials. for
Do
them.
you? Isn't that kind of embarrassing to be that good-looking guy with the good hair? I mean, let's face it. You'd have to really
You're the
be
good-looking
living.
woman with the good hair. So what's the difference?
I'm the good-looking woman with the good hair. I know, but maybe like a couple of people know me. everybody knows you. You could like just show up in Russia and everybody would know you. They wouldn't know me. You know what I mean? You could show up anywhere. You could go into the middle of Africa.
Very
and they'll go
blessed.
like, there's that guy. I mean, what does that
Talking
feel
about
like?
Dennis?
And
Tell
Dennis,
about
too.
the time we went to the
what-
sushi restaurant
Oh,
with the
no,
four
yeah,
girls.
yeah.
I can't wait to go out to dinner with you later. I
Oh,
cannot
we're gonna
wait.
have fun.
Are
It's
you
amazing.
kidding? They're going to be like, there's that girl, the girl with the hair, with him. Is that what they're going to do?
Scandals now begin.
Why? I'm leaving John home. That's
Oh,
what we're
yeah.
going to do. We're going to start something.
No,
That's
he's,
what we'll do.
he's too nice of a guy. We can't do that.
No, I'm just messing with you. But what does that feel like? Because there's a lot of guys who, let's say.
I'm very, I thank God every day because I'm being very blessed.
He's very approachable. People come
Very,
up.
very blessed.
Well, that's the thing. You're approachable because you're smart, and you know that people have
'Cause,
really enjoyed watching you,
in-
and you've enjoyed that, and you've reciprocated.
Yeah. In life, you can't take, life is too short. You
Yes.
can't take yourself seriously like a lot of people do. You have to have fun with life.
So the police department has dispatchers, 911 dispatchers. They have a National Dispatchers Week.
What does this have to do with his butter commercial?
He goes down. He goes down to see the dispatchers. These
Yeah.
are dispatching 911 calls.
Yeah.
He comes in. They're all jumping on him like he's a teddy bear, and he's catching them like a teddy bear.
Stop. So all the dispatchers, all the men and all the women they just leave their posts at 911 there. If you're calling, forget about it.
That's
because
right.
they're all running over to see Fabio?
No, let me tell you. Actually, they're really good. They can walk and chew at the same time.
That's right. I mean, he
Oh, I got it.
he did that just to inspire them for dispatchers week, and they were embracing him, and they
Yeah, I
were,
think that's
he
great.
has this way of catching them, where he's standing there with his arms, and they'll jump right into his arms.
And let me tell you, when we were there, calls that were coming in left and right
Yeah.
about burglaries.
Yeah.
Everywhere in the city. I mean, where we were there, constantly.
Well, you are so
So-
circling back right now in your life and your career. You really are all about this. You really are all about making sure that something happens here in California before it's
Totally,
too late.
because look what happened in Europe. I mean, right now, Europe, they jump off the cliff, they're done, they're doomed. I mean, it's like,
What can be done to turn that around? We only have a couple of minutes. How did this go so fast?
well, to tell you the truth, I do the opposite. Europe, there's nothing they can do to turn around.
It's
They're
gone.
already invaded and everything. Let me tell you, it's like I always laugh at that guy, George Clooney. Okay, I always laugh at him because every time he's open his mouth, fart coming out of his mouth.
I'm going to tell Mr. Clooney that.
Oh, yeah, he knows. I
Mr.
told him in his
Clooney,
face.
Fabio is telling you that every time
Well-
you open your mouth, there's a fart.
Yeah, you remember when he was talking about all the people from Syria coming over United States. He was totally for, right? Now he's selling his house in Italy, in Lake Como, because it got invaded. And of course, it's like he can't deal with those people. So it's not safe anymore for him and his family.
It's like,
so
ooh,
he's-
oh no, it happened to me?
Well, exactly,
Oh, not supposed to happen
exactly.
to me. Yeah, I
Then
got you.
he left Italy, he went to England, and now he goes like, oh, no, England is not safe because all these people are coming from Syria. Now he's coming back to Los Angeles.
No, tell him it's not safe here too. Tell him to go. Say in your neighborhood
Yeah,
alone in 1 month.
Stay
you
like
have
Como.
300.
Like, please.
Send him to what? What did you say? Bakersfield, Riverside? I mean, he'll be safe
Yeah,
over there. We
yeah.
love you over there, by the way. I'm not-
And we
I'm
are
not-
working with the district attorney's office on some
Yes.
legislative changes to
Yeah.
try and turn some of these Jerry
Tell me
Brown
what that
things
is,
around.
because I'm telling you, we have like 2 minutes here.
Fabio?
We have to change this thing because it's like they keep releasing thousands and thousands of people, and these are not drug addicts. These are serious criminals.
What are you working on to change, Dennis Zine?
We're working on legislative changes through the district attorney's office, through some folks in the community, business owners that are fed up with it. The shoplifting situations, 950 to make it a felony. There's a lot of issues. Stealing a gun was a misdemeanor. Now they've made that a felony. We're trying to go back to basic and reality.
Yeah, and also when you have police telling you, I arrest this guy 14 times in a month.
I know, but you have to have a space. You have to have the place to put them. So the money has
Well,
to be.
there's a place. You know what? There's a lot of space to put people. There's not a problem with space.
Yeah.
Deborah,
We gotta
you have
build the prisons.
something you have in the United States. Plenty of space.
That's what I'm saying. But we need the money. We've got to get the money.
We've got the
Raise
money.
We've got the money.
We've got the money. It's not a matter of money. It's just like what the mayor of Los Angeles is doing right now. They want to have no fatalities, so they're narrowing the streets, putting bicycle lanes in, so the cars are backed up, and they can't travel.
Oh, it's to the point I'm going to need one of those little like aerial things.
Yeah.
Because we can't drive anymore. Ugh,
Congestion is crazy. So the slower you go, the less chance of an incident. So we're going to reduce deaths and injuries by having people basically park in traffic lanes. It's crazy. We are nuts in California and Los Angeles, and Governor Brown is at the head of that table who's creating this dilemma. He's going to be gone, but we need to reverse some of these ridiculous rules that are negatively impacting the communities and making more and more victims. Period.
I believe that you are a resident of Washington State or also here in California or what? Because we need you here, Fabio.
I know, but I'm a resident of Washington State. And I was telling you, instead to send the finest and the bravest to fight, the scum of the earth in Afghanistan and other places, let's send the scum of the earth over there to fight those people. Let's send, all these criminals, serve the country, because the people have enough, and they kept you in jail, and they maintain you in jail for the longest time. It's time to give back to society. It's time to give back to your country.
And again,
So we
you've
should
got
train
the
them.
perspective. A guy like you has the perspective. Like my grandparents
we
who
should-
came here poor from Italy, and then we were raised properly with an education. And I travel, so I do have perspective. I travel a lot. But most people don't. They don't have the perspective. They're living fat here, figuratively and literally, right?
Yeah.
And you've got that perspective.
Yeah, and
You
I
can
tell
see
you,
it.
nobody can train you better than the U.S. military. Nobody can train you better. That doesn't matter how
You know what it is?
tough you are. They'll train you. They'll train you and send you there.
Regardless
That would
of your
be-
politics, we need to all just get smart. That's
Yeah.
what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Politics need to be put aside.
And politics
that's
is
the
about-
problem with this country. It's you've got one side or the other. Pick a side, pick a lane, and that's it. Why can't we go down the middle and just put the politics
Exactly.
aside?
People get together because let me tell you, this is the trick politicians they've been playing for the longest time, since the Roman Empire.
Maybe I'm going to run for something.
There
That's
you
what
go.
I'm quite reasonable, and I'm also like people very much. So maybe one of these days. And I didn't even get into your.
politicians, they take all your money and then they throw back at you some crumbs. And some people, they're all happy.
I got to have you come back in. There's so much I wanted to talk to you about, like this entire filmography of you, where everything you've done, you played yourself, whether it was on Roseanne or anything else. Fabio, himself. No matter what you've been
It's
in,
the greatest.
Simpsons.
It's the greatest gig.
Who's he going to imitate?
Actually, you know what? Actually, I just did a movie.
I mean, once you were an angel. What was that? in The Exorcist 3.
Yes.
The angel.
You know, I was in a movie.
Actually,
By the way, I was in a
just
movie.
played the Pope.
You
in
look
a new
like
movie.
you can
in
be
a
the
new
Pope.
movie. Well, at least maybe I'm no, I just don't want to say. Because lately, the Catholic Church is getting
They got
left and
some
right
scandals.
major scandals. I don't know if you heard about the last two.
Yeah, I'm
Cardinal?
raised Catholic. I know what happened. What was it? The number 2 guy, I think.
Yeah.
Number
Not
3
only
guy,
that,
whatever
but just
Oof.
recently they closed down the biggest bordello in the Vatican.
Yeah.
With they're having drugs and
Sex
parties.
parties.
Sex
Okay,
parties.
you know what? They need to bring back that these guys can marry, and they can marry whomever they choose. Because once the church did that back, I think in the 15th century, I could be wrong. I could have my dates wrong, because they didn't want the priests. They didn't want them leaving their property to their wives, so they had to be married, if you will, to the church. Look what's happened.
I know, but
they
don't-
try to do
it's-
good stuff, but oh my God, what's going on behind
Don't
closed
you
doors?
love it? I mean, look at the hypocrisy. They tell you how to live your life, and look at their life. It's unbelievable.
I
I
need
mean,
to-
it's so laughable. I mean, it's incredible.
Were you raised Catholic, being an Italian
Yeah,
boy?
but let me tell you, yes, I was raised by the best, okay, but I knew right away. I felt it
Oh, I
right
did too.
away.
Oh, my God, are you
right
kidding
away,
me?
I go like, oh my God, it's like these people. They're,
I remember being 5 years old, and they said, if you lied, you're getting a black dot on your soul. I was petrified. I'm thinking, oh my God, I told my mother I ate dinner and I threw it to the dog. I'm going to have black dots. And then I thought, wait a minute, I don't have a black dot for feeding my dog. And even back then, they're trying to sort of, brainwash
Hey, let me tell you
you.
something. I was a very, very,
I had
was
black
a
dots for
really
other
bad
things.
kid. I was very active. I was and never believed what they told me, okay? But since I was 9 years old, the priest, they were like telling me that I was the son of the devil. And I laughed all the way.
You don't want to know what they called me.
It was zip, zip from one ear out of the other, never register.
Oh,
So-
we would have had so much fun in school together.
Oh.
I was so mischievous because I went to Catholic schools. I really was, but I was a good student, and they always left you alone. If you were a good student, you got a pass. Meanwhile, they would walk by me, and there's my squirt gun, and I'm trying to do all kinds of things, getting somebody else in trouble. It actually promotes you to be dishonest instead of honest, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was quite a rascal myself. I feel kind of badly about it, but
Well, you can always repent.
so look, What, to that little guy in the room? I don't know. I turned out okay. So this has been so much fun. I feel like I needed more time with you, though. There was so much to talk about.
Oh yeah. Too
bad
if you
she's-
want to start with the Catholic Church, oh my God, it's a confession.
Yeah.
It's just power.
Bless
It's
me,
just
Fabio.
En nomine
knowledge.
Patris, Filii, Spiritus Sancto,
Bless me, Fabio.
for I have sinned.
Because you have sinned.
We got to talk about more of that stuff tonight at dinner. I'm really looking forward to it.
Definitely.
So any parting words?
We're gonna have the best Italian food.
Okay,
that's
wait.
for sure.
We do know that you are looking to have a kid. I mean, really, are you?
He's
want
gotta
to
get
be a
married
dad?
first. He doesn't
Or
want
is
that
this
weather.
something that Dennis
First, I have
is
to find
pushing?
the. I have to find the.
No,
wife
he came
first.
to
You
me.
do.
on it.
You're, so you what? You
I have
don't
to
live
find
a-
the. I have to find the mother first.
He wants to get the mother, and he wants to do it the right way. He wants to get married and have a baby.
Okay.
So lucky
we're
women
going to
out there.
start tonight at dinner.
Okay.
If not, people, you can write to me, email me, text me, whatever. You'll find me.
Well, there'll be a
And
screening
send me your
process.
Send me your picture. I will screen it and then send it over to the phone.
And the age,
What about
what,
that?
what age category yet? What's the age
Oh,
category?
it's Dennis. It's-
No, you don't want any. You want childbearing age, 20 to 40, 20 to 30.
What's he going to do with a 20-year-old? Are you kidding?
He
No.
wants babies.
30s maybe, right?
Yeah.
Because, mature
30
enough.
30 to 40.
And you can have a baby.
30 to 38,
27 to 33.
27, 33. Okay,
Oh,
27,
okay, you're on
33.
27 to 33. Okay.
That's it.
I'll look for you.
27, 33.
Ladies, send me your pictures, and I think we have to go. I mean, if there's not a show behind me, I'll keep going.
That's all, folks.
There's a show behind me. Okay, everybody, thank you for being here for a fun, I think,
was fun for
interesting.
us.
It was fun for me, too, right?
Yeah.
I don't even
Actually,
know.
we should need more time.
Huh, I know we need more time. When you come back in town, or maybe we'll just have a camera on us tonight at the restaurant. Anyway.
Don't tell them where you're going to go because then they'll be going there.
Yeah, no, I won't.
Keep that a
I won't.
secret.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in to a really fun edition of Deborah Kobylt Live with Fabio and Dennis Zine. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.